Today, I'd like to talk to you about my latest book, which is now available both as a Kindle ebook as well as a paperback that you can order from Amazon. The title of my book is rather complicated. The title is Akribeia, Economia, and Antidosis. What on earth could I possibly mean? The answer is akribeia is an ancient Greek word which means to follow a rule exactly, or a formula, or a law, in an algorithmic, in a mechanical manner. Aristotle says akribeia is a fault in rhetoric because it seeks to import a degree of precision into a discourse where the underlying subject matter does not permit any such thing. Akribeia is the great fault of the various pop philosophy and pop psychology and pop economics and pop this and that. You know, you have these assholes, these shitty assholes, academics, some of them are journalists, and they publish these worthless books, and then they go on to Three Quarks or Aeon or other such fora so as to shill, so as to publicize and to sell their worthless books. And it is the task of socioproctology to point a finger at assholes and to say, you're an asshole, your book is shit. But this doesn't mean that a socioproctologist like myself isn't an asshole, that my own books aren't shit. No. There is a principle of reflection here. A reflective principle in the sense that the universal set V has a reflection principle such that any small set has that same quality. But there is a recent result by Terence Dow. And, it is typical of a guy whose name is Vivek Iyer, who's completely stupid, that he would appeal to Terence Dow, who's the opposite. But his most recent work shows how, in a certain sense, choice can be predetermined. A choice sequence, like a prior choice sequence, it's not rocket science if you are aware of the prehistory, or if you, as I have done, have engaged with the philosophy of mathematics. What does mathematics actually mean? But this doesn't mean that my book, Akribeia, Economia, and Antidosis, is any good. It's shit. I'm an asshole. I point my finger at assholes. And briefly, akribeia, that's wrong because you're following the rule. Economia is also wrong. It's a discretionary type of management, but it's not necessarily regret minimizing. There is something superior, something better than economia. Antidosis is the notion of exchange, it's the notion of opportunity cost, it's the notion of envy, freedom. It's a mathematically well defined. But again, these things don't really matter very much. Why? The revelation we each of us have an almost perfect revealed scripture appertaining to our own oikiosis. I'm lucky. I'm Hindu. My revealed scripture has a adjunct, which is the Mahabharata, where explicitly it is said in the Nilopakyanam that a principal must learn statistical game theory or outsource that to live an ethical life. That's it. I'm lucky I was born a Hindu, and I received a lot of kisses and cuddles from mommy and daddy. And, yeah. It's great being Hindu. It's fucking marvelous being a Brahmin. I mean, I'm a Brahmin Bandhu, not a real Brahmin. It's fucking marvelous being a Brahmin Bandhu. Because a Brahmin Bandhu is also attached to shamans. Because, I see Sadhi or Sadhu, I go and touch their feet, and they don't mind it, because I was an Indian, mate. Even animals, wild animals, can touch the feet of those strivers who have gone beyond. Let me now very briefly summarize the message of my book, Akribeia, Economia, and Antidosis. Ultimately, what it comes down to this is that within a category theory framework, we can say that economia, it's basically it's an optimization problem, and there are two adjoint functors which would define the limits within which the upper and lower limits, or truth and falsity or whatever. There are two adjoint functors. But, category theory, it creates universal properties, or it has a notion of proposition as type, as a type theory. It has these things for a pragmatic CS-Peircean type of reason. That either there is some optimization process going on, or there is no applicable category. And of course, the truth is that mathematics itself is not an optimization process. There is no metamathematics which is optimizing anything at all. And we have people like William Lovier, who tried to be a little bit Maoist back in the 70s. The reason that I liked William Lovier is I was writing a novel, and I wanted to, at a certain point in my novel, it had to be the case that all the Canadians involved didn't have a soul. So I had to find a mathematical explanation as to why, the Canadians might not have a soul. And Lovier, he said, with the War Measures Act of Pierre Trudeau, Canada lost its soul. So, yeah. But, this is all nonsense. The truth is Canadians are the best people in the world. And there is something adjoint, What is adjoint between the Canadian soul and the Canadian heart? What is it? I got no fucking idea, mate. I think it's maple syrup. No, it's not. I'm joking, But adjointness is a powerful idea. It gets us away from the notion of identity. It gets us towards the notion that we didn't need to worry about woke nonsense and grievance studies and the notion that the body politic is heterogeneous and heteroclite. We don't have to bother with those notions at all. And there's something else. That is the notion that we can be happy. That we can, however useless, ugly, stupid, worthless, I am. And these are good things about me. Nevertheless, there is a revealed scripture for every, as the Quran Sharif says, that prophets have been sent to every nation. As Bhagavad Gita says, there is nobody who does not have access to revelation. As an economist, I might mention the revelation principle, which enables mechanism design to go ahead without or with rationality. John Muth, rational expectations, according to on the basis of the correct economic theory. So this gets rid of all the adaptive expectations, hysterices. Economics is ergodic, so is ethics. There's no fundamental problem here which requires an institutional or a grievance studies based approach. But what there is a challenge to intelligent people to tell the fucking assholes in academia and in journalism and so on to stop shitting on the thoroughfares of public discourse. Stop shitting higher than your asshole, you stupid cunts. This is the message of social proctology. Unlike proctology, which might involve putting a finger up a bum hole, we steer clear of the bum holes. But we just point the finger at the assholes and hope they stop being such worthless assholes. Read my book, feel some shame at the stupid, ignorant lies that you recycle to make a bit of money, to shill your latest book. Stop it, you stupid cunts. There is such a thing as the internet, as Google. We can check and see that every fucking meme that you're using was excluded 10 years ago. Don't be so stupid.